Britain's emergency bikers are on the front line, racing to protect the public and save lives. And they've never been more crucial. With 33 million vehicles on the UK roads, the country's congested cities and major routes are the busiest in Europe. The bike squads of Essex Police and West Midlands Ambulance Service provide help where it's most needed, fast.
Roof off jump. No reason you can have a lock knife. Straightforward offence.
How many bangs did you hear?
On Emergency Bikers, there's a call to a suspected stabbing.
You don't know what that blade has touched as it's been going into the body.
Merseyside Fire and Rescue unveil the UK's first firefighting bike. And biker cop PC Mick Wills goes stateside.
That feels quite cool, really. I might go for a cruise.
Birmingham, and the biker paramedics are standing by. Topic of conversation, the wishes of Steve Harris's partner, Barbara.
And she wants a new bedroom carpet, and I've just had to buy a new gearbox.
Just go and buy 2 carpet tiles.
Strap them to her.
Put some straps on them so she can slip them in. She can walk in like with some carpet tiles. She thinks she got some new carpet on.
Every room.
Treated you.
New carpet.
But when a call comes in, they're poised for action. On their Yamaha FJR 1300s, top speed 130, they race to emergencies within an 8-mile radius of the city centre. Carrying everything a traditional ambulance has, they're trained to deal with anything.
All right, just relax, just relax. It's a chemical incident. We've got 6 casualties. This is obviously now classed as a major incident.
And to capture the action, we put special cameras on each rider and bike so we arrive at the scene the second they do. On call, Steve Harris.
Got a stabbing
in the neck.
Last year in the UK, there were more than 33,000 knife and sharp weapon offences, 4,000 of them in the West Midlands. It takes Steve just 3 minutes to cross the city, not stopping for anything, including red lights. He needs quickly to assess the man's wounds, but getting to the bottom of the incident is going to be tricky. The man's wife is distraught and the couple don't speak English. But Steve knows only too well that stab wounds can cause injuries that aren't always immediately obvious.
The problem is you don't know, because the knife tends to go in and then come back out again. They're rarely left in place. You don't know what that blade has touched as it's been going into the body.
Keep still.
It could have nicked any number of blood vessels, which could be bleeding. It can nick nerves. It can cause all sorts of problems. We do see an awful lot of knife wounds. We're in the borders between Lozells and Handsworth, and yes, we do get this type of case around here.
It looks like the wound's minor, but it's only when a French-speaking ambulance officer arrives that the real story emerges. The man's been assaulted by a stranger, but not with a knife.
Je ne sais pas pourquoi. J'ai essayé avec mon garçon pour arriver de ma femme avec les cigarettes. Lui, après de glace de verre, m'a frappé. Ça, c'est un motif. Pourquoi c'est possible comme ça, sans rien, sans un motif? Peut-être que nous avons peut-être drogue de boire. Un bâton. Quand lui m'a frappé avec les bouteilles, après, le près du bâton arrive avec le bâton. Encore continue. Hey, encore, pourquoi tu me frappes? Pourquoi? Toi raciste, toi... Lui m'appelait marocain. Lui m'appelait... Hey, je suis pas marocain, je suis roumain. Ça c'est ma femme, ça c'est mon garçon.
Although upset and shaken, the man's not seriously injured, but he'll need to be checked in hospital.
The job as we received it, where someone had been stabbed in the neck, a slight exaggeration. And so quite a very minor wound just in the side of the head. So no cause for concern.
That might be the case on this occasion, but fellow paramedic Mark Hayes remembers only too well the time he had to take drastic action.
So I'd literally turned into the street and then I was updated that there was a stabbing. had to take a bit of a double take. I actually saw a jet of blood coming out the side of his neck, a spurt of blood, an arterial bleed. I've had previous arterial bleeds where you see a pulsating spurt from a wound. This just appeared to be one constant spurt out the side of the neck. Absolutely nothing I'd seen before.
No amount of bandages or compression were working.
If we didn't do something quickly, he was going to die in front of us. It was suggested by a colleague maybe inserting a finger to try and stem the bleed. It's not the done thing, however. I inserted my finger into the hole that was in the neck, and it stopped the bleed. There was no other options. He was bleeding out, so it was literally get the finger straight into the hole, and it remained there until we got to hospital and surgeons took over.
Birmingham, 10 a.m, and there's a call to a hairdresser with a suspected broken leg. Paramedic biker Steve Harris is just meters away and is on scene in seconds. 37-year-old stylist Paul was up a ladder changing a light bulb when he fell.
Right, I can see the obvious swelling, and I presume that's where the pain is.
Yeah.
You were on this ladder here?
Yeah.
A few steps up, or what?
Yeah.
Can you move your toes?
Pain's too much, man. It's just the pain.
It looks like he may have broken his tibia and fibula, the bones in the lower leg that bear all the body weight. Not good news for a hairdresser who's on his feet all day. He needs morphine.
One of the very best pain relief drugs.
He's one of nearly 1,200 people seriously injured in ladder falls every year, which also claim one life every month.
At the moment, we can give him up to 10 milligram, although I'm going to try him with 5 milligram first before we start thinking of moving his leg.
An ambulance crew arrives.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I just feel a bit fed up.
Frustrated.
I can't afford to be off.
I can see you're not impressed, but whatever's happened has happened. So, you can't alter that now. It may be that when you get to hospital, get the x-rays, it may not be as bad as you are thinking.
The big challenge now is getting him down the stairs. The morphine's working, but Paul's leg must be stabilised before he can be moved.
Just put a splint on. Most people call them blow-up splints. They're actually vacuum splints. There's a bag full of polystyrene beads. What we're going to do now is take the air out of that bag, which makes the beads form a rigid structure. And that's going to help support his leg while we go down the stairs. 1, 2, 3. Squat beyond you.
You okay, Paul?
Trust me.
So far, so good. But now there's a corner to negotiate without so much as a bump to Paul's leg.
Okay.
Nearly 3 minutes later, he's safely in the ambulance.
Pain score? We're going to transport Paul to City Hospital, get them to have a look at his leg. He's going to need x-rays. In all likelihood, I think it is broken.
7.
It seems like it'll be a while before Paul is back in the salon. Liverpool and Merseyside Fire and Rescue are poised to unveil their latest weapon, the first in the UK, a firefighting motorbike. The BMW R1200 RT, the same model used by Essex biker cops, has been specially adapted to fight small fires, the curse of the 249 square miles covered by Merseyside. They account for 1 in 6 calls and are believed to cost the patch's taxpayers more than £1 million a year, enough to pay for 55,000 firebikes. This UK first is the brainchild of District Manager John McCormack.
To send the big red fire appliance with 4 people on it, with all the life-saving equipment on it, to a small, what was basically a small bin fire or small rubbish fire, does not make sense. Economically, it doesn't make sense. As far as the environment is concerned, it doesn't make sense for that. When you put a large fire engine on the road with blue lights, you increase the road risk to other users.
Like any major conurbation, Merseyside struggles with congestion.
Now a bike is nimble, it's quick, they'll be able to get there quickly and safely to deal with any incidents.
Selected to trial the bike for 6 months, Chris Bowers.
You can get through heavy traffic much quicker and much easier than an 18-ton fire engine will.
It's taken 3 years to perfect the two bikes. Each carries two 25-litre tanks of pre-mixed foam and water and 30 metres of hose. So with the extra weight, it's going to take some precision handling. Riding alongside Chris, Colin Golden.
It is a bigger bike to actually ride, but it's just like riding a bike with a pillion and full luggage, basically.
Top speed is likely to be around 70, but they'll be able to weave through traffic faster than a traditional fire engine, and the big trucks are freed up for major incidents.
Well, obviously you are more vulnerable than in an 18-ton fire engine, but we're trained to the highest level, police standard response level, and you just got to look out for yourself. People do tend to get out of the way when they see a big red bike and blue lights and sirens.
Small fires might seem like small fry, but as Chris knows, they shouldn't be underestimated.
You've only got to look at some of the areas where wheelie bins are actually kept by people's front doors. So if you get just a simple wheelie bin fire, it could develop from the outside, certainly going through and then become a house fire very, very quickly.
Kids deliberately pushing bins up against houses has become an epidemic. Within 5 minutes, toxic gases are released and it generates the same searing heat as a car fire. And these arson attacks have claimed lives. The firebikes will be on scene in minutes. Droplets of water rapidly douse the fire, stopping oxygen from fanning the flames. The firebikes will be critical on the front line, and it's taken years to finesse them. Lever arms on the brakes and gears have been extended for the large toe caps a firefighter must wear. Helmets are being specially designed to suit both riding and firefighting, and there are the uniforms to develop. Something that works for riding but is also protective and fire resistant.
If we're wearing this for 6-7 hour period during the day, then it's our comfort wear basically.
The bikes will come into their own with the most common form of arson, car fires.
For vehicle fires on motorways, for instance, or dual carriageways, where there's traffic backed up due to the incident, these bikes can obviously get through traffic a lot quicker, even using the hard shoulder.
Every week in the UK, 1,400 cars are destroyed or damaged at a cost of £77 million, enough to build a couple of new fire stations. It takes just 3 minutes for this car to belch toxic smoke, but it doesn't take much longer for the firebike to put it out. The secret weapon is a specially developed lance, which can smash through windows and headlights. A blanket of foam ensures there is no chance of reignition.
One bike can actually put out a car fire, and they will actually put out a wagon fire.
They're a huge asset for Merseyside Fire Service.
Birmingham. And if Steve had a struggle getting a patient down the stairs, there's a major challenge facing fellow biker paramedic Mark Hayes. A man is reported to have fallen off a drainpipe at least 20 feet off the ground. Mark races across town, covering 3 miles in just under 6 minutes. He's first on scene. The man is at the top of the second staircase.
What's happened?
It's fine, my friend.
What's happened?
I don't know, I just pin here.
Right, you've had a fall, is that right?
Right, nothing's wrong.
Have you got pain in your neck or your back at all?
Back, maybe I broke this one and this one. I don't know.
With possible broken ribs and back pain, this is going to take some handling.
Obviously the potential's there for all sorts of injuries from head, spinal to internal. Obviously it's really important that we immobilise him now, get him off to hospital and just treat as we find.
Any unnecessary movement could result in paralysis.
Keep still, keep still. Yeah, mate. Keep still.
The man must be kept as still as possible.
Stop moving. This is very uncomfortable, but it's really important that we pop this on you and that you keep your head still, all right?
A collar will immobilise his neck.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the head if you want to wrap that down. Okay. You need to keep still now, yeah? This is the hard bit. Deep breath in.
The only way to safely move him is on a scoop stretcher, literally scoop him up.
In.
But it's going to take some doing.
I think if we just, underneath here, shuffle him down a step. Keep still. No, you need to keep still.
Just roll under one button.
Yeah. We're just going to roll you to one side, all right? Bring your hand across. You need to keep still, yeah? Yeah. Lift it up, lift it up. Lift it up. Ah. Ah. Hold on. It's all right. We've got it. We've got it. There you go.
No one can afford to make a wrong move.
Right.
Right, just foot on the bottom.
Foot's on the bottom.
Okay. 2, 3.
All right, keep still, keep still, keep still.
You don't take me up.
No swearing. Okay. You got that, Steve?
Yes.
Right, hang on. We'll just drag him over. Right. Lifting on 3, Steve, all right?
Yep.
He says, 1, 2, 3.
And now there's a narrow corner to get round.
Put him down, spin him again.
Yeah. Slowly, slowly.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Slowly.
It's taken 10 painful, exhausting minutes to move the man down the stairs, but they're finally out the door.
Slimmest one first. 2 steps. 1 and 2.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
Big lad. Big lad. Wow.
Yeah, good.
That was a training school job. Huh? To try and immobilise him. He's a big chap. Over 6 foot tall. Muscular like myself. And it was just, yeah, it was a nightmare. It was so warm and then trying to immobilise him. No, it wasn't the best of jobs.
Moving an immobile patient is hard work at the best of times, but for the bikers it's even more difficult, especially in a summer heat wave where temperatures reach 25 degrees.
Obviously you've got all the protective gear on, jackets, leathers, etc. You've got the external temperatures, you've got the heat coming up off the bike. And once you get to the job, you don't have time to, I'll take my jacket off, I can get a bit of fresh air whilst I'm treating the patient. You know, you've got to get there and you've got to start work, whatever it may be, straight away. So it really physically exhausts you. I mean, by the end of the day, you're absolutely shattered. And then if it's a busy day, you go from job to job to job. You don't always have chance to have the fluid intake that you need. And it really does tell on you.
Essex, Southend-on-Sea, a resort famous for its pier and home turf for new biker cop recruit PC Lucy Watson. Lucy's on patrol in town. Perched high on her bike, she spots a white van. The driver's clearly not wearing a seatbelt. She's on his tail. She waits until he turns into a side street to pull him over safely. Straight away, the driver's on the charm offensive.
Did they pick you specially for this today?
Sorry?
Did they pick you specially for this today?
Pick me specially. not really.
Being an attractive woman as you are.
That's not going to help you, I'm afraid.
Never does. What's wrong?
Come out the road for me, sir.
What have I done?
It's not what you haven't done.
All
Okay,
right.
you just passed me. You're not wearing your seatbelt. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of that, I'm going to report you for that offence, and I'm going to caution you. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Right.
Do you have a medical exemption certificate?
No.
Okay. Does your seatbelt work?
Yes.
Okay. Any reason why you weren't wearing it?
Just got back into the van and slipped my mind at the time.
Okay. So today you are going to get a ticket, I'm afraid. It's a £60 fine, but you don't get any points on your licence.
Happy days.
Do you have your licence with you, sir?
No.
Do you have any identification with you?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Lucy's come across charmers before, but not all are as persistent as this man.
And what is your date of birth, please, sir?
17/6/56. That makes me about 21, 22.
A bit like me, really.
Good, though.
Just a fraction
No, but
older
you
than
look
me.
21, 22, don't you?
That won't get you off, I'm afraid.
You'll get extra money for handcuffs.
You have to be really bad before I get them out.
I could be.
Right. As I said, £60 fine. You don't get any points on your licence. Okay. Do you understand all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Most importantly, please put your seatbelt on every time you get in. You have a safe journey, please.
I certainly will.
Thank you.
With my seatbelt on.
With your seatbelt on, yes.
Right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Doesn't get much more simple than that. People aren't always as happy about it as that, but yeah.
A cheeky smile and patter might brighten the day, but it'll never mean a let-off from Lucy.
Not through the bottom.
Birmingham. On call, Steve Harris. Call sign, Forest. Forest Groom.
There's this misconception that sometimes I can be a bit prickly, a bit grumpy. I don't see it myself. As far as I'm all sweetness and light, but other people seem to get this impression about me.
So, why does Barbara wear a T-shirt that says I'm with Grumpy? Answer that. And why have you got a T-shirt on saying Grumpy?
The T-shirt with... yeah, she also sent a text around all her friends, and the text was, I always dreamed of marrying somebody from a fairy story. Little did I dream that it would be Grumpy out of Snow White.
201, Roger's details received.
Grumpy or not, Steve is soon on his way to an incident. Quicker than an ambulance, he zips across the city, going through areas a truck can't go, including pedestrian precincts. He's first on scene in under a minute to find a familiar face.
We meet again. Are you addicted to phoning for ambulances?
I've got spinal pain.
I know you've always got spinal pains. How many times this I've met you?
It's the third time he's been called to this man in a week, and he's not amused.
Well, I'm waiting for the scan.
Yeah, when you went to hospital last time, what did they do for you? Did they do anything? Did they treat you? Or did they send you home?
Well, they sent me home, but
They sent you home? Right.
It's gone into a spasm.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to come and sit over here on the bench? Go on then. So as we say, I know you've had 3 ambulances out. We keep taking you to hospital. They're not doing anything for you, presumably because there's nothing they can do. What painkillers have you taken?
Ibuprofen.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone into a spasm.
We'll wait for the ambulance. We'll pop you down to hospital again. Get them to have another look at you. I'm just wondering how many times we've got to do this.
It's up to me.
Well, you're the one that keeps phoning. He lives in one of the local hostels. He walks out of the hostel, comes into the city, goes to a telephone box and then telephones with back pain. We take him to our local hospital, City Casualty. They check him out, look him over, discharge him, send him home. And a few days later, he'll do exactly the same thing. The only difference today is he's picked a different telephone box. I did have a go at him the other day I'd had him at the same phone box within a couple of days, and I just asked him how come he always managed to reach that one. Well, today he's come to a different one, but it's exactly the same call. You had your ibuprofen today? You had any alcohol?
Well, I've been to the doctor and she told me to have some tablets that make it go into spasm again,
So hang on, since 1:30 you've already seen the doctor, so why phone for an ambulance?
Because he wouldn't.
Well, if you've already seen a doctor, what's the hospital doctor going to do any different? Because I don't think this is appropriate use of 999 emergency service.
But whatever Steve's suspicions, a back complaint needs checking.
212, just checking ambulance en route, over. Shall we pop it on the ambulance?
Just take your time. And we'll pick that up. You just get yourself on the ambulance.
We're going to take gentleman back into local hospital. They'll have another look at him, and I'm assuming they'll just discharge him back to the hostel. So we can't leave him on the street. He'll phone again, so we have to take him somewhere.
It might seem tough, but Steve's got 27 years' experience on his side.
Some people, some patients will only tell you what they want to tell you, and some patients tend to exaggerate on symptoms and exaggerate on what's actually happening to them. Over the years, you tend to discover a sixth sense, as you can see through a lot of what the patient's telling you, and you don't necessarily believe or accept everything that they say.
But Practical Joker Mark has just a thing to sweeten Forrest.
The most sourest sweets you've ever experienced. Brought tears to my eyes, that's disgusting. Steve doesn't know that, so we're about to give him one. Have to have the odd sweetie, don't you? Got to keep this figure up somehow. Cracking oldie-worldy little sweet shop. What your sweet, mate? Try one of them. Absolutely. Dark ones are apple. The pinky one's cherry. Hello, enough. Gorgeous, mate.
They're a bit sour.
It's a bit sour. Oh! But the reckon as you get older, your taste buds wear away, so that's got to be reassuring for you then.
But I can still taste it.
Essex, and the biker cops are ready for another day on patrol. Their powerful BMW R1200 RTs, which accelerate from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, act as their officers 8 hours a day. There's no room for error. PC, Ray Jeffrey.
Motorcyclists are exposed to danger. You're conscious that your legs are exposed to anything that might be sticking out from the vehicle, such as bumpers. Some of these vans that carry glazing, for example, that have the framework on the sides. The large goods vehicles with the underriders and the metalwork down the side, it can quite easily catch up, not only on your legs, but on the crash bars and the siren and bits and pieces on the side of the bike. It's difficult sometimes, for example, when you're on an emergency call and you've been travelling at a fair pace over a fair distance. You're perhaps thinking about the incident and what's going to be happening when you get in there, rather than concentrating on what you're doing at that moment, which is riding a bike at high speed. And sometimes you just have to take a step back and think, oh, hang on, what's going on now?
The biker cops are highly trained, but if riding's risky for them, it's more so for others, with motorcyclists 30 times more likely to die than motorists. Great Bentley, in the northeast of the county, is home to the largest village green in Britain and hosts to rallies for as many as 1,000 bikes a week. On duty, PC Mick Wills. It's a chance for the biker cops to hang out with the biking community, and it's a job Mick just loves.
I come in off duty sometimes. My son comes on the back, and we come down here and we just sort of, not for long, just sort of join in, you know. Common interest, everyone's friendly, you know, even to the old Bill. Do you remember me? Nürburgring last year with Copey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Again, all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
What were you racing when you raced? What were you racing for?
I've lost
bike I raced was a Kawasaki 750, which is a super bike, you know, like in endurance, 24-hour stuff. You know.
And just out of interest, how's that Firebike compared with
It's
that
much
power-wise?
faster.
Is it really?
Faster, yeah.
But with 250 bikers killed and injured in Essex last year, there's a serious message from Mick to spread.
In the past, before we had motorcycles in Essex, or in the period when we didn't have them, there was a lot of problems with people misbehaving. We had some quite nasty accidents, all of which were people, as far as I'm aware, showboating, you know, wheeling, stuff like this. And we had some fatalities. We've had some nasty ones recently as well, with people leaving this event. So we try and, you know, fly the flag, and we also try and promote safer riding with our Bike Safe initiative.
And there's nothing to beat the like-minded talking to the like-minded.
We have a feeling that they're more open with us as bikers, even though we're police bikers, than they would be to, you know, a squad car or someone on foot, you know.
And the younger the rider, the better.
Actually, motorbikes are faster than cars.
Actually, I think you're right.
And with all the bikes on show, even an old hand like Mick might learn a thing or two.
What on earth is that? Is that a bass speaker? I've never seen that before. What's this then? Is that like a power amp or something? Where do you put your music? Just on your phone? Was that music?
Just across the road, there's something more up Mick Street.
Half the forces in America use these, and the other half use Harleys. I've got to take a picture of this, but I'll get my camera.
Excellent. It's like a bed. That feels quite cool, really. I might go for a cruise.
Birmingham. The biker paramedics never know what they will be called to, and have to be ready to deal with anything. On duty, Barry Rudge. It takes him 40 seconds to cover just over a mile to help a woman who's got asthma. And to get as close as he can, he rides straight up the path. One in 12 people suffer from asthma in the UK.
Hello. What's happening today, darling? Okay.
It's now mid-afternoon, and Nahida has been fighting for breath since last night. Untreated, asthma sufferers can fall unconscious.
Yeah. Put it by your face, and we'll fasten it on properly in the tick, okay?
Air passages into the lungs constrict and go into spasm, and it can lead to respiratory failure. One person dies every 7 hours. Nahida needs help fast.
Do you normally find that the nebulizers work? Yeah. Just relax.
The nebulizer and mask means a quick-acting drug will vaporize oxygen directly into her lungs.
He's given her a salbutamol nebulizer. Basically, it's the same drug as the Ventolin in inhalers, but a more concentrated form, and it just gets into this blood system a lot faster. It should open up her airways for us and means she gets a lot less short of breath. The drug has to get time to work. Just have a listen to your chest, Nida, okay? Can you make her sit forward for me, just a little bit? That's a girl. Okay, lovely, you're doing stuff. She's got wheezing in both lungs, but it's more pronounced on the left-hand side. So the left lung's a little tighter than the right one.
Nahida is on dialysis for kidney failure. Barry checks her heart rate.
Just going a little bit too fast at the moment, but that could be because of the fact you were short of breath and the fact they're giving you the drugs as well, all right? It should calm down in a few minutes. We've got a bigger ambulance coming as well, so it might be policy to pop you down to the local hospital. All right, being as it's been so long since you've been short of breath and it's a bit tight, okay. Have you been bringing anything up when you're coughing? What colour is it? White. She may have a chest infection starting. She says she's got a productive cough. Yeah, it's white. White stuff she's bringing up at the moment, so if that was to turn yellow or green, then it would confirm the fact of a chest infection. As deep a breath as you can, my darling, okay?
Her wheezing is starting to ease and her oxygen levels are picking up.
We're looking for as close to 100% as we can, and it's hovering between 99 and 100 now. So our oxygen levels are actually as good as they're going to get.
As the ambulance arrives, Barry checks her lungs again.
You can hear the phlegm. When she coughed, it moved it, and the wheeze became a bit less. So it's starting to move the stuff up through her tubes in her lungs.
More than 5 million people, 5 times the whole population of Birmingham, suffer from asthma.
Does that feel better? Yeah.
With a patient admitted to hospital every 8 minutes, it's a condition that shouldn't be underestimated.
If an asthmatic is having quite a severe asthma attack, obviously they'll treat themselves with their own medication. If that isn't resolved within 10 to 15 minutes, then they should obviously call for us. We can come out and we can treat them with ours. Sometimes it relieves the symptoms on scene and they're happy enough to stay where they are. Other times they still have to go into hospital.
Birmingham. And for once, Mark Hayes can leave his bike behind as he's called to a department store across the road. A woman's collapsed shopping for an outfit for her grandson's wedding. Mark finds her lying in the bedding department and she's in agony with a kidney problem.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you've ever had, what score would you give the pain? 9, nearly 10. And what have you taken for the pain?
I can't take anything because it doesn't cure it. It doesn't cure it.
So they've not tried you on any pain relief at all? 1, 2, 3.
Mark starts by doing some basic observation, including a blood glucose test.
Hold that on there.
I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't genuine.
No, I don't doubt you for 1 minute, my love.
I wouldn't be doing this.
No, I don't doubt you for 1 minute.
I felt lightheaded nearly all morning.
Shouldn't have come out, you should have stayed at home.
That's all I've done.
I know it's hard for you, being cooped up at home, unwell. But hopefully there'll be a fix soon.
I've got to get my outfit.
What do you need an outfit for then?
My grandson's wedding next month.
Next month? I'm sure you'll get sorted.
The observations are clear, but Marlene will be taken to hospital for more detailed checks.
Right.
It's a busy day for the ambulance service, but at least Marlene's in the perfect place to wait.
Your feet are dangling down. They would be better if they were up level, but I don't really want to move you about. So.
I mean, I don't want to take advantage too much of the place.
No, they won't mind, don't worry. No, don't worry about your feet. Huh? I've been into shops like this before now, and the homeless have come in and got into the beds and fallen asleep.
Sounds good to me.
What do you think of the bed anyway? Is it? Can't sell you one while we're here?
Yeah, it's off for sale.
Oh, is it not? Oh. Tried to get you a bargain then.
After a few more minutes, the ambulance crew arrives.
We have a crew for you now. Darling, what we're going to do is, it's all right, my darling, it's what we're here for. What we're going to do is nice and slowly try sitting you up, all right? What I need you to do is focus in front and take some nice, slow, deep breaths, all right? Apparently she used to have quite severe edema, which she'd been put on, God, we're off.
Thank you, little girl. Something okay. You're okay. Where's my shoes?
They're in the bag, don't worry, they've got them.
Marlene, I hope you get better soon, and good luck for the wedding.
Oh my God.
All right, and these look after you.
Like this.
Oh, they'll get you sorted. All right then, all the best then, my darling, take care, all right.
Just going to tilt you
all
back.
the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll be back to see you. Yes. I'll be back to see you.
With Marlene safely on her way, Mark could do with a lie down himself. Display lights and biker leathers don't mix.
Oh, it's warm in here, isn't it? Too warm.
Chamberlain Square in the heart of the city. A Wrexham schoolboy, here for a choral competition, has just taken a fall.
201 received, en route.
Steve Harris sprints right into the pedestrian area to help the lad who's taken refuge in the Central Library.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
All right, what's your name?
Owen.
Hello, Owen. I'm Steve. What's happened? You just...
I fell over on my arm.
Okay. Right. No pains down here?
No.
No pain in your elbow?
No.
This is Owen. He's had a fall outside As he's gone down, he's put his arm out to save him. I'm querying at the moment whether he's dislocated his shoulder. So that's what we're treating him for. He will be going to hospital. Where your elbow is, at the moment it's sticking out in front of you, okay? And what we're going to do, we're just going to rotate it around so that it's... How's that feel? Let's just make this a comfort.
In this position it kind of hurts by there.
Yeah. But now that it's resting in that, is that a bit easier? So what you need to do, at the moment, it's still not on your tummy. So we just need to, just nice and relaxed. And then it'll slowly fall down until it's resting across your tummy. All right? You been in hospital before? What for? Another fall?
Broken collarbone.
Collarbone? Same side? Or was it this side?
Left.
Right. And was that from a fall as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago?
6 years ago.
Oh, right. Well, how old are you now?
10.
Got you. Well, ain't bad, is it? Twice in 10 years. Yeah. Any injury to the shoulder joint or that area in time can reoccur, if you like. It can be a slightly weak joint. He's been very brave. He's been good as gold, hasn't he, mate? Hey?
Owen will have to go for further checks, but he and his mum have to get a school coach home, and there's only an hour to go.
I think he was being very brave. He was quiet. He was obviously in some pain there, but he wasn't letting it show. And he certainly gave us no problems at all. He's a nice lad.
And it's not something Steve hasn't seen before.
I've got 2 kids. They are a lot older now, but I have got a boy, and he was always having accidents. He was one of these lads that was falling out of trees, trips, falls, breaking the odd bone, wearing plaster. So it was constant.
Hairdresser Paul had broken his leg and was on crutches for weeks. The man who fell from the drainpipe escaped with a broken wrist and a fractured ankle. Nahida has been very poorly in hospital, but is back at home and making a good recovery. Marlene is determined to be well enough to make her grandson's wedding. Fortunately for young Owen, the school bus home was delayed and he managed to get aboard. He is now right as rain. Next time on Emergency Bikers, there's a bomb scare in Birmingham.
Injuries from bombs, they are horrific.
There's a surprise discovery in the back of a van for Lucy.
But you don't mind your friend getting hurt if you ever crash it? Well, I was only sort of
going from there to there.
And Mark is called to a reported amputation.
Do you just look the other way then? You just move your hand, Mum. Move your hand. Move your hand.